This platform really did not live up to my expectations. DJs, beware. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now, in between my DJ tutorials, if you've watched me for a while, you will know that I like to review products and services specifically aimed at DJs. Because I'm a working DJ, I consume things like record pools, I subscribe to them. I also buy a range of DJ related products, and I like to share my thoughts and opinions with you so that you can make an informed choice as to if you want to subscribe to that service or if you want to buy a particular product or look for any recommendations, etc, etc. Now, I was actually really excited to review this. I was a little bit skeptical, and it turns out that I was right to be. And unfortunately, this is not going to be the review that I had first thought it would be. I'm talking about a service called ID by Rivoli. I've got it loaded on the screen, that's why I'm looking backwards and forwards. Now, I have seen this heavily promoted on Instagram. I probably get pushed this advert because I consume a lot of DJ related content on Instagram and TikTok. And this service, and there's a clip of the advert on screen now, this service really kind of sells itself as the exclusive club that has all the big IDs, the exclusive IDs that the big DJs are playing in their sets. Now, of course, I was a little bit cautious because I know that the big DJs like Fisher, David Guetta, Charlotte DeWitt, whoever it is, they have these edits, these mashups, bootlegs, versions of tracks that you aren't going to hear anywhere else because they make them specifically for their sets or they get sent them by other big DJs. It's quite a close circle. And I'm always on the hunt for an exclusive or an ID that has gone off at a festival or a big Ibiza club night to play in my own set. So naturally, I was quite curious and I was gonna sign up. And I have signed up, I've paid for an account. This video is definitely not sponsored. So I thought I would do a little bit of a deeper dive into this platform. What do you get for your money if you decide to sign up? What is behind the login? Because I feel like the advert, especially if you glance at it pretty quickly as you're scrolling, is perhaps a little bit misleading. Let's get into it. So first and foremost, before we jump on and I show you around, how much is this platform going to cost? Well, it is $20 per month. That is a recurring subscription. So it sits at around the same price as your typical record pool. And for that, you get unlimited access to the platform. Notice I said access and not unlimited downloads. More on that when I show you around, because as I said, I feel like this website is not all that it seems. Now, there are codes online. I found that my first month was actually $11.99. I didn't get sent that code. As I said, this video isn't sponsored. This is just my honest view as a working DJ. The code to get it for $11.99, I think I got it off the homepage, so it is quite easy to find. But with that out of the way, let's jump on and I'm going to show you what is behind the surface when you actually sign up. So welcome into ID by Rivoli. This is the homepage when you first log in. Now, first and foremost, you can filter by genre. That's a good thing. And also it has got a very complex, well, not complex, I'd say comprehensive is a better word, track filters. So if you know that you're looking only for certain BPMs, certain energy, certain keys, you can do all of that in this filter section here, which is great. Now, if we scroll down, and this is where I was a little bit surprised when I first logged in, you will notice that the majority of these tracks are just scraped from SoundCloud. And that's why I was a bit like, okay, I've just paid for this, because if I go across to the SoundCloud window, see here, most of these tracks are actually available for free download. So if I click on this free download here, it actually takes me to the Hype Tip page where I could download this track for free. Now, if you don't know what Hype Tip is, it is what is known as a download gate. So typically what will happen is an artist will put the track behind this download gate and you are able to get the track completely for free, but in exchange for something like an email address, maybe a comment on the track on SoundCloud, maybe signing up to follow them on Instagram or to follow them on Spotify. So you're supporting the artist in a non-monetary way in order to get that track for free. So if you know a particular DJ is playing a certain track, I don't know why you would need to subscribe to this, because you'd probably go and find them on SoundCloud anyway and do this download. Now, I want this review to be as fair and as objective as possible. And I completely understand that a lot of DJs may not want to give their information, especially email addresses, to artists that they have never supported previously, right? So one thing that is good with ID by Rivoli is, if I go back, if I click on download here, you can actually download the track directly from the website. So this allows you to bypass all the information that download gate requires you to put in. But the argument against that is, especially if it's a new and up and coming artist and they've got a really good edit, should you not be supporting that artist? Because if you sign up to, say, their mailing list, and I say you should do it with caution, but if you sign up to their mailing list, that means you're going to find out about their next up and coming releases, which new artists are quite reliant on because they want to build an audience. So by downloading directly from here, are you doing them a bit of a disservice? Similarly, if you're paying for this service, you're pretty much, in my opinion, paying for the convenience, because rather than crate digging potentially on SoundCloud, you have everything all in one place, and you can even search for, of course, the track. So well, I don't know why I'm doing this, but World Hold On, you know, it has all those edits there. So it's actually filtering all those SoundCloud edits. Now, to be fair to ID by Rivoli, they do have artists that work exclusively for them. So you are going to find some exclusive music on here. So if there are artists that you know of that are uploading music exclusively to ID by Rivoli, then this may be a service that you want to subscribe to. However, for me personally, these are artists that I've not really come across before. I've come across a couple of them, but not that many in my opinion. But do have a look. I mean, this DJ Devo and Walther has exactly the same photo, which is a little bit strange. So I feel like you have to do a little bit of research before jumping in and subscribing, especially because that's what I did, because I was completely sold by the advert I saw on Instagram. But they do have these exclusive edits, but just be cautious because these are uploaded in date order. Yesterday there was only one added. July the 30th, there was 4 added. When you compare that to your typical record pool, they're uploading multiple tracks every single day. On here, you're going to get a handful at most. And so what this site seems to rely on is building up the bulk of its music library by scraping from SoundCloud. Now, when it comes to the major DJs and their advert where it says that this is the platform that all the major DJs are using, if you go on playlists, you can see here that we do have some artists here that have playlists. So David Guetta, Blondish, Martin Garrix, Clooney, etc. And I was getting quite excited because I was like, right, I've now found the page that is where all I can find the edits that all these DJs are playing. But if I click on Fisher, for example, there are literally 3 tracks. And as before, I could get these on SoundCloud. So if I found a track that I know that Fisher is playing in his sets, and I searched for that on 1001 track list, a website like that, I would probably just go onto 1001 track lists, find the track, and then go onto SoundCloud to go get that track. I wouldn't need this service in the middle. So please be cautious. You are, in my opinion, paying for convenience more than anything else with this site. Now, the other thing is there's these reference artists. So say, for example, if you heard a track in a club and you think, oh my God, it samples the Eurythmics. Sweet Dreams is a huge track, right? And you know that you want to get an edit by the Eurythmics. If you click on here, it's got a little bit about the Eurythmics. And then there are some edits in relation to the Eurythmics. So this could be a good way to find some exclusive stuff. However, is it the stuff that is being played specifically by the biggest artists in the world? Potentially not. I've paid for this out of my own money, and I was a little bit disappointed, a little bit disheartened, should I say, that most of this stuff is available on SoundCloud for free. If you want to search for exclusive edits on this platform, then by all means, I think, give it a go. Is it worth $20 a month? In my opinion, I personally don't think so, but you are paying for the convenience. But in my opinion, you, as a DJ, you want to be crate digging. And if there is a particular edit by a particular artist and you know what it is, you could probably search for it in the SoundCloud search engine and completely avoid this step that you are paying for in the middle. So there we have it, a real review of ID by Rivoli, and unfortunately it really did not live up to the hype and my personal expectations. Now, in their advertising it does mention SoundCloud, however it's kind of buried, it's not really what they lead with. You are pretty much given all of these images of these top DJs and clips of them DJing, saying that this is an exclusive club, this is where they get their edits from. And yes, to me, it did sound like a bit of a too good to be true, because I know that some of these exclusive edits that DJs are playing in their sets, they don't really release them to the public because, or other DJs that they don't know, because that's why you go and see them DJ, because you're going to get something exclusive. But I know that a lot of new DJs watch my videos and you are bombarded with different services, subscriptions, products, etc. And so that's why I want to share with you my real experiences. But over to you. Please leave your thoughts and feelings down in the comments down below. Maybe you've had a really positive experience on this site. And I want this to be objective, right? So please do let me know what your thoughts and opinions are. But for me, unfortunately, it is a no. Please do hit that like button if you have found this video useful. Please hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. I am aiming for 15K by the end of this year, and I will catch you in the next video.